Hey everyone, and welcome to Throne Talk. On today's episode, I'll be breaking down the top 5 moments that I'm most looking forward to seeing in Braavos during Season 5 of Game of Thrones. At the end of this video, I'll also be giving my thoughts on how I think HBO will change a few of the events that might go down in Braavos from the books. This will be a spoiler-heavy video, so I'm issuing a big spoiler warning right now if you're not caught up through the most recent books, or you don't want to know what might be going down. Okay, let's get started. Number 5. Entering the House of Black and White. Based on this official shot from Season 5, it looks like Arya will reach the headquarters of the Faceless Men, the assassin organization to which Jaqen belonged, pretty much as soon as her ship reaches Braavos. Inside the house, which also doubles as a temple to the many-faced god, are statues of some of the gods of death from Westeros and Essos, such as the two in this photo, rumored to be from inside the Game of Thrones studio. Now, I'm not sure how they'll do it on the show, but in the books there's only 2 faceless men who actually live at the house, while the others come and go, and only gather there when many assassination contracts come up. When they are at the temple, the assassins wear hooded robes colored black on the right and white on the left, and do not give their names. One of the faceless men we could be seeing next season, who Arya names the Waif, has the appearance of a starving child, but in reality she's much older and is an expert in poison. The Waif's name did appear on a casting call that came out earlier this year, and most of the other characters that were on there have already been confirmed, so all bets point to seeing this mini assassin next season. As for the other assassin at the temple, there hasn't been any news on him yet, but I'll be going a little more into that character at the end of the video. Number 4. Braavos is full of cats. After settling in with the Faceless Men, Arya's first assignment will be to head to the streets and take on the name Cat, an orphan from King's Landing. As Cat, Arya works for a fish merchant, selling mussels and clams out of a wheelbarrow, but of course there's some ulterior motives, and part of her job is to spy on customers and learn secrets about the happenings in Braavos. I think this will really be one of the bright spots in her storyline, especially if you enjoyed Season 1 Arya, because as Cat, she's a lot less of that psychopathic killer we've been seeing recently, and much more like the funny cute kid that we haven't seen from her in so long. Cat will definitely get some cool scenes, including possibly some knife training, but mostly I'm excited to see Arya just being a kid again and having fun at the expense of local sailors. Also, something to watch out for will be how HBO makes use of the Braavosi language, because in the books the common tongue is not so common in Braavos. Supposedly the word from Set is that while she pushed around the wheelbarrow, she was shouting out to customers in English. So I think it's possible the show will be doing what they did with Dany's storyline, where the common tongue is used by pretty much anyone who is in a Dothraki, slave, peasant, or the poorest of the poor. Number 3. The Nightwolf emerges. After watching all of the Season 5 sight teasers, I noticed one through line. They all begin with what looks like Arya opening an eye. Now we know Bran will have essentially no scenes in Season 5, so for HBO to come out and call their teasers the sight, it seemed a little strange to me. I think the amount of Arya in the teasers, and the choice of the third eye symbol, could mean that we'll finally get to see her develop her sixth sense, warging. If you didn't know, Arya has shown warging abilities in the books, and during her time in Braavos, she has dreams of inhabiting a giant wolf in the Riverlands, roaming with a large pack and eating both men and beasts alike. She also even successfully wargs into a cat on multiple occasions, even though she doesn't really understand how it's happening. The main reason I'm excited to see Arya's warging is because, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the direwolves, and this would certainly mean the return of Nymeria to the show. I think it's pretty likely that we'll get a scene of Arya dreaming through Nymeria, just like Bran did with Summer, though her dreams may be a bit bloodier. I will definitely be cheering if we get to see a giant direwolf in her pack descending upon a group of Freys and devouring them all. Number 2. Arya changes faces. So Maisie Williams, who plays Arya, has been leaving some hints of her Season 5 storyline, and some of the things she said include you might not recognize Arya this season, she will become no one, and it's the end of Arya as far as anyone knows. To me, all these are dead giveaways that not only will Arya be leaving behind her past, including the name Arya Stark, but we'll also see her change faces. In the books, all of the Faceless Men refer to themselves as no one, and one of the things Arya must do for her training is discard of all of her personal belongings and name. Williams has confirmed that there will be a scene like this, or a scene showing Arya dropping her old getup, but as far as her changing faces, all we have to go on is speculation. I could be wrong, but I think Arya descending into the mysterious lower levels of the House of Black and White, where they store all of the faces that they use, is definitely episode 9 or 10 material. Just seeing a room lined with hundreds of faces would be epic in itself, let alone her actually putting one on. It also should be interesting to see if we actually get an explanation as to how face swapping works, because so far all we're told is that it's neither a trick of the eye nor a glamour spell, but something deeper. Number 1. Crossing a name off the kill list. As I mentioned in my last video, Cersei's abuse of power next season will manage to piss off the Iron Bank and cause economic turmoil throughout the realm. As we can see here, it looks like in order to try and smooth things over with the bank, Lord Mace Tyrell will be sent to Braavos to treat with the banker Tycho Nestoris. Everything that's going on in this photo matches up pretty nicely with one of the early release chapters of Winds of Winter, a chapter that ends with Arya killing a member of her hit list. The one she killed in that chapter was a Lannister guard who came along from Westeros, but that character has never appeared on the show, and instead, here we have Sir Meryn Trant of the Kingsguard out in the open. Meryn is the supposed murderer of Syrio Forel, and if Arya has anything to say about it, I don't think he'll be leaving the city anytime soon. Now there's not too much she can do while Meryn is wearing plate armor, unless she learns how to use those blow darts like Jaqen, but I do think Trant will somehow meet his demise in Braavos, despite being alive in the books. In that Winds of Winter chapter, after Arya recognizes the Lannister guard, she seduces him back into her room and then slashes the man's throat before whispering Velad Morgulis. It might be a bit controversial to see Arya seducing a 40-plus-year-old man, but I think if they don't want to go that route, then they'll probably just have him get a little too drunk at a tavern or something before Arya makes her move. But whichever way they do it, I'm definitely looking forward to some more Arya revenge killing. So I kinda glossed over this, but that's because I'm not totally convinced the show will be doing it. During her time as Cat, Arya comes across Sam Tarly and some members of the Night's Watch when they are forced to stop in Braavos during a voyage to the south. This is just my opinion, but I don't think that stopping in Braavos is particularly necessary to the overall development of Sam or Arya's story, and Sam's story could easily be changed to save time. However, so far every time that a major character's storyline has progressed to the point of visiting new cities or locations, they've always come across at least one familiar face, such as Dany meeting Barristan, Bran meeting Sam, etc. So I think this is where the rumors of Jaqen H'ghar returning come into play. So right now we have no official word from HBO on whether Jaqen H'ghar will actually be back on the show, but the site winteriscoming.net is currently reporting that the actor who played him is confirmed as a main cast member for Season 5. Now if that is actually true, then he would have to be appearing in Braavos, because if he popped up elsewhere, he most likely would not have enough screen time to be considered a main cast member. In the books, there's a character called the Kindly Man, who is one of the faceless men living at the House of Black and White, and he takes on a mentor-type role to Arya during her training, so it's very possible that he will instead be replaced by Jaqen to keep with the theme of familiar faces. Another possibility is that since Jaqen changed his face in the Season 2 finale, yet his voice remained the same, the actor could be returning solely for voiceover work, since he did say that Jaqen is dead. Lastly, like I mentioned earlier, it seems like Arya taking on another face is being played up as the big moment for her this season, rather than her actually assassinating someone. The reason she's actually allowed into the lower levels of the House of Black and White and wear the face is because she's deemed worthy of an assassination assignment. But my thoughts is that the whole seeing her plan out her mission and executing it probably won't come until Season 6. And her putting on the new face, Darth Vader Episode 3 style, will probably be where her story ends in Season 5. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching this episode of Throne Talk.